Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Mags. So Newcastle United, of course, took on Aston Villa down at Villa Park yesterday, and of course Newcastle came away from that game on the end of another defeat, and yet again Steve Bruce putting in a lacklustre performance. And you've got to be looking at it, and thinking, when will Newcastle finally get a win? Because the way things are going at the moment, it does not look good for us moving forward in this league. Obviously, the way it's going at the moment, it's starting to look very, very similar to the 15-16 season under Steve McLaren, and we all know how that ended. We don't want another repeat of that season, but unfortunately, with the way performances are going at this moment in time, it looks like it could possibly be that. And you've got to be thinking, what is Mike Ashley thinking with it as well? It's only 1.5 million. That's all you got to pay, Mike. All you got to pay is 1.5 million. You can have rid of Steve Bruce from the club, and there's a good, viable option out there that's just come available in Rafa Benitez. He's left Dele Alli, and he's now free on the market. Bring Rafa back, get him back to the club, let him continue what he started before Steve Bruce, of course, came in and is just completely reverted the team all the way back to what Steve McLaren was doing with the team. It's really, really poor, and it's not looking good at all. And you've got to be thinking, Mike Ashley's risking 300 odd million that he could be having in his back pocket for Newcastle United. This kind of takeover isn't going to come along every day. We all know this. This isn't the kind of takeover that comes along every day. You don't get another shot at this. And Mike Ashley's really wasting it by keeping a hold of, let's face it, a dinosaur of the modern game. Steve Bruce is using tactics that were used in the 80s, and he's using them now in 2021. And he's been using them all throughout his career. He's just a manager that doesn't bestow confidence in anybody. I didn't want him at the club when he first was rumoured to be appointed, and then he comes in and he's blaming everybody but himself for what's going on at the team. They're talking about bringing in Graham Jones, who was at Swansea, as another coach. Why pay the money to bring in Graham Jones, who's another coach, to literally waste more money? That money that you're paying for the wages for Graham Jones to come into the club, you can be spending that on the 1.5 million to get rid of Steve Bruce from the club, getting rid of the problem from the team to begin with, and bringing in another person that's going to do the job. We've got a good set of players. We had a little bit of a silver lining out of this game, a little bit of a positive in the fact that Alan St-Maxim came on, got himself a bit of game time, and he looked quite well on the ball as well when he came on. So, that is sort of a positive that you can take from the game. But again, it's another poor performance by Newcastle, and now we're on a winless run of 8 games in the Premier League, 10 in all competitions. The last time we scored was about 1 goal in the last 8 games. It's not looking good. It's now 398 minutes since we last scored a goal in the League or Cup, and we've managed to just get 1 from open play in 776 minutes. The scoreless run in the Premier League extends, of course, to 278 minutes. So, it's not looking good for us. The opening goal in the game last night, wasn't great neither. In my eyes, it did look like it was offside, but for some reason, Paul Tierney went with a different way of playing the offside game, and they were going by, of course, Ollie Watkins being behind the ball. I've never ever seen it done that way before. It's always been with the last man, but for some reason last night it was done a different way. I don't even know what to literally say on that, to be honest. But in my eyes, it looked like it was an offside goal and it shouldn't have counted. But then, of course, they ended up picking up a second in the game anyway through Bertrand Traore. But before that, of course, they scored a second, which was Ollie Watkins, but was disallowed because he actually was offside, and he should have probably been offside for the first one as well, in my opinion. But it's a quick turnaround. We've got Leeds coming up on Tuesday. Of course, it's a home game, which is going to be a big boost, as most of the games of late have been away. So hopefully that will help a little bit, that we do eventually have a home game. But it's against Leeds, Bazalze's side. Of course, they've already hammered with 5-2 this season. And to be honest, you know, they're on a little bit of a downer. They've lost 3 consecutive matches, including, of course, an FA Cup blowout against Crawley Town. So it's not looking good for Leeds at the moment. So hopefully that will help in the game on Tuesday. But let's have a quick look at the Premier League table. Of course, Newcastle are 16th in the Premier League table after that game last night. We've got 19 points out of 19 games. Of course, that's like 2 points we've taken out of the last 24 on offer, which isn't great. You can see it's not going to be a very good season if this keeps up, and we're going to be fighting a relegation battle come the end of the season as well. Aston Villa are in 8th now, 17 games played, they've got 29 points. And of course, Leeds, who we've got to play on Tuesday, are in at 12th. 18 games played, 23 points. So, looking at that, you know, what more can you say other than it was another crap performance from Steve Bruce, and there was crap performances from the players in there as well. You know, John Joe Shelby, absolutely terrible again. In my opinion, Jeff Hendrick, absolutely useless as well. And I don't know what Caldolo was doing for that first goal. He should have went with his hands. Instead, he went with his head for some reason. I really don't know what's going on at the moment with the players at the club. You can see at the end of the match as well, they looked pretty downbeaten and just looked really fed up. And, you know, that's a similar feeling to what us Newcastle fans are feeling at this moment in time, you know, probably a little bit more than the players are feeling, because at the end of the day, they always have the option to leave the club, but we've got to continue to support it. So if you can, please hit that like button, subscribe as well, and there's a little button down here to subscribe to the channel. Please go do that. It does help the channel grow, and watch out for the match preview of the Leeds game coming up. And I'll see you all next time. However, that's